Hi, Natalie. This is Luke with WSI Connect, reaching out because you've received a lot of the information we sent over around tips for increasing the enrollment at your Montessori school. And just thought I'd put together a quick video with a few additional tips around things that you can do to optimize your website to help potentially increase conversions of prospective parents into enrolled parents at your school. The first thing that I noticed when I get to your school, your website is that it's got a pretty cleanly layout. I really like this now enrolling pre-K through fifth grade. This makes it very easy for prospective parents who come to your site to understand the programs that you have available currently. One thing I would think about though is this apply online. If you think about it from the perspective of a prospective parent, this is somebody who generally comes to your website for the first time, is just trying to learn a little bit more about your school and the programs that you offer. And having this as kind of the first step to engage with your school is a pretty big ask. So what we like to focus in on with our Montessori schools that we work with is instead of having them ask for an application online, we have them focus on something like schedule a tour so that the prospective parent can come in and see your school, meet some of your administrators, and really understand your environment so that that kind of moves them along their journey towards choosing a school for their child. The next thing that I noticed is that if a prospective parent wants to reach out to you and just to learn a little bit more about the school, maybe they do want to schedule a tour or inquire about an open house, your contact form is very lengthy. So there's a lot of information that you ask for up front that a parent might not be ready to provide. Information about their student. This is pretty sensitive information. They don't necessarily want to give that information away to every Montessori school that they visit, especially things like birth date or something like that, which can be a personally identifiable information. So reducing the amount of fields we've seen on contact forms dramatically increases the amount of submissions. So we tend to focus on things like name, phone number, email address. And then when the person at your school reaches out to this prospective parent who has completed the form, they can gather some of the additional information so they can start to get a sense for who the parent is and what age range their child or children are in, and kind of where they are within their journey around their decision path of finding the right school for them. The next thing I would think about is your programs. I think it's very good that you have content around each program that you offer. And there's content here, but it's not as easy to access as we would like. So if a parent comes to this page, if they want to learn about all the different details of your pre-primary program, they have to click on each one of these expanding fields and they have to read through all of these individual bullet points. And some of these bullet points are really important, but some of these other bullet points would be better kind of moved into a description of things like practical life along with a few bullet points rather than just having a long list of bullet points. Because you can see that as parents navigate through this, they're reading bullet points, they're expanding fields. These don't even have the bullet points there, but expanding fields. And you can see how this might be a little bit frustrating for them when they're really trying to get a good sense of what your program has to offer. The final thing that I'll leave you with is I notice you're a school in San Antonio. So one of the biggest sources of new prospective parents coming to visit the schools is Google. A lot of parents will start here, especially if they don't know somebody in the community to ask for a recommendation for at the Montessori school. And of course, word of mouth referrals are always going to be kind of your richest source of bringing in new students, but sometimes they're just not enough. Sometimes a lot of the Montessori schools that we work with have a lot more capacity than the referrals will support. So we try to find different strategies to help get parents out of Google to their website, and then from their website to schedule a tour to get into their school and visit it. And so one of the biggest sources of traffic from Google to your website will be this kind of what we call local pack, or this is the maps listing, and it's tied directly to your Google My Business profile. And so adding a lot of content to your Google My Business profile will help it to show up in here, depending on how well your competitors are doing with optimizing their own profiles. But you can see here, as we look through this, your school doesn't show up in these search results until fairly far down. So the parents are going to end up looking at a lot of other schools' websites first, and your school might not be one of the ones that they end up considering based on just kind of the volume of Montessori school options in your local area. So there's a lot of different things you could do there if you do need help in kind of increasing the enrollment at your school. If you have any questions about this stuff, feel free to reach out. I'd be happy to share some more information. You can always hit a quick reply to the email that I'll send over. But hope this helps. And yeah, feel free to reach out if you have any questions.